House Press Secretary Jen Psaki refused to give an answer on why Dr. Seuss was left out of President Biden's Read Across America proclamation. The question arose after we learned several books by the author will no longer be published due to quote-unquote racist and insensitive content.
The proclamation was written by the Department of Education, and you could certainly speak to them about more specifics about the drafting of it, but Read Across America Day, which, as you're right, has not existed forever, has only been around for a short period of time, elevates and celebrates a love of reading among our nation's youngest leaders.
Now, the Universal Theme Park says it's reevaluating a Dr. Seuss-themed kids' play area. The area is named If I Ran the Zoo, one of the canceled books by the publisher. The park also pulled that book from its shelves. Meanwhile, a 2017 tweet from Vice President Kamala Harris praised Dr. Seuss. And now it has resurfaced because, you know, tweets never go away. It reads, "Happy birthday, Dr. Seuss. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go." Power panel now, former Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz, syndicated radio host Leslie Marshall, both Fox News contributors, both with beautiful families, kids. No doubt you've read a few books by Dr. Seuss. Leslie?
Yes, I have. And Kamala Harris's tweet is not wrong. I love Dr. Seuss, but it was Dr. Seuss's own company. And by the way, if you look online, there are people that actually worked with the author of those books that he wasn't comfortable with some of the content as well prior to his passing. So this wasn't a decision by the left, by the Biden administration, by Democrats. This was a decision by Dr. Seuss, by the publishers, by their company to remove some books that were offensive to some segments of the population, specifically African Americans, Asian Americans, because after consulting with teachers, administrators, and specialists, they found that offensiveness toward children could be hurtful, and they have so many other wonderful books that they wanted to highlight and spotlight rather than those, and that's why they decided not to republish them.
If the goal is to erase all the things that make us uncomfortable, can we take some networks off the air who don't have anybody who looks like me during the daytime? Just asking for a friend. Jason?
Yeah, good point. I got to tell you, I think America is absolutely fed up with feeling like and being lectured to that they're doing something wrong by, playing with a Mr. Potato Head or reading a Dr. Seuss book or having Clarence Thomas just ignored and pushed out of the public dialogue. There's so many things. It just seems every time we turn around, the left and the Democrats try to take this cancel culture. I think it's a very small minority. I don't think it's representative of all Democrats. But this cancel culture, they go out, they scare these companies, they hold them essentially ransom, and they just try to plow through and push forward their agenda, and I think it's fundamentally and totally wrong.
Well, and if they keep canceling and canceling, where does that leave room for free speech? And for those of us with kids of color, we need a jumping off point sometimes with the things that they love to talk about. Well, this is where we have gotten to, and these are how things are changing. Why not have something that triggers that kind of a positive conversation? Leslie, you get last word.
Look, Jason, love you, you know that, but it's not the left doing this, not just the left, and this is not new. Do you I'm old enough to remember? I'm old enough to remember a band called the Dixie Chicks. You guys remember Dixie Chicks? And Dixie Chicks had their CDs trampled on, their concerts canceled, their label canceled. Why? Because they exercised their free speech and spoke against a conservative Republican president. So cancel culture isn't just happening in 2021, and certainly not just happening by the left toward the right.
We'll move on. Great to see you both. Thank you.